Happy Wednesday, everyone. We are now in day 3 of camp. So far, we have drawn our tree. We have copied it 3 times onto our piece of long, skinny paper. And today we're going to get to the part of adding color. What you see here in front of you, and you have this document in your file for today, is a color wheel. And this is a way of organizing colors. Artists use this to help them make color plans for projects. And we're going to do the same thing today. What I have done is I've laid out the colors that we have in our 12 pack like this. This is just like yours. And I have removed the white, brown, and black. Those are kind of neutral colors, and we're going to be working with true color and not the neutrals. So I've laid out what should be in your packet, and we are going to be using these as analogous colors. And all that means, it's a fancy way of saying colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So for each of your trees, I would like for you to select 2 colors. For one of mine, I'm going to do yellow and yellow-green. I'm also going to choose the blue, and this is going to be our sky blue. So I'm going to put those 2 as a pair, these 2 as a pair, and then I'm going to choose orange and red orange. But you can use any combination of colors that are next to each other on your color wheel. So these are going to be my selections, but you can of course select any colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So I'm going to move this out of the way and just make it very clear. I am going to use these 2 colors for my middle tree. These 2 colors, I'm going to start with the blues. That's for tree number 1. Tree number 2 is going to be the yellow and yellow-green. And then orange and red orange will be for the last tree. It's kind of hard to get all of them in here at one time. So I'm going to move these 2 colors out of the way, 2 sets of colors, I should say, so that we can concentrate just on our very first tree. And I'm using the blue and the sky blue. And what we're going to do here, I'm going to pull in just a little bit so that you can see. We are going to be shading all of the sections around the tree. The tree's going to remain white, and all of the little spaces around, this is called negative space or the leftover space, that is going to be where we're applying our color. I'm going to start on one end of the space with my darkest color, shading toward the middle. And I'm working very neatly. You don't want to see a bunch of streaks, and I'm not pressing very hard. We're going to come back and sharpen up some of our colors and make them a little darker, but we're not going to start that way. So from the opposite end of the space, I'm just going to make a little light line here, sort of as a bumper. Okay. As I get closer to the middle of the space, I'm really going to make it light. Then I'm not pressing very hard at all. And as I get to the shared space in the middle, I'm going to let my colors just overlap in this middle section. You're going to have some of both colors. And while this looks pretty good, we can really take it up a notch. Once you get it colored to this point, along that edge where you started, come in and just darken that a little bit, especially where it goes to a point. This is called using value, and basically what we're doing is just going from dark to light. Okay, and then on the other end, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to darken the edge, and this just really makes it pop. And we'll be shading one tree a day, one for Wednesday, one for Thursday, and one for Friday. So when our week ends, you should have a really beautiful piece. Take your time. It's much easier to go back and darken things up, so work lightly. There's a little art saying that says, work light until you get it right, and that's very good advice. Okay, so I'm going to bring just a little more of this into the middle so we get a nice blend. You'll notice that I'm holding the pencils not close to the tip, but I'm sliding my hand away, and that is just to help me keep from putting too much pressure on a spot. Okay, so there's our first section. This little section is going to be, it's only going to take a minute because it's so small, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to show you how to do a small one. There's just a little room in the middle to overlap. So I'm going to get that going. Then again, darkening the edges. I'm going to do one more section in real time. I'll do this large section right here, and then I will go into time lapse just so you can see the finished product. You can change this around if you want, but I'm going to put the dark blue closest to my tree in each section, I think. You can mix it up, you can alternate where it's like dark blue here, light blue here, but I happen to like to put it all the same way. So I'm going to point the darkest blue towards the middle, towards the tree. So again, just notice that I'm working pretty lightly because I can always make it darker, but it's a little bit more difficult to get rid of darkness where you don't want it. When you're next to the line, the outline, you can put a little light line there to help keep your color pencil inside the line. We don't want to have that escape. Okay, just like that, there's the basis for our setup. So now I'm really going to go back and just darken this edge and go back and add a little bit more of our sky blue on this side. And just like that, we have 2 pieces of our project completed. I'm going to switch it over into time lapse so that you can follow along and see the end product.